Defending Taiwan, US to build a missile wall against China. Before we dive in details, please subscribe to the channel and stay always one step ahead to know all global important events happening around you. Give a thumbs up and share the video with your family and friends. Let's move on with the video. The United States is advancing its plans to deploy long-range land-based missiles in the Pacific as a countermeasure against a potential Chinese invasion of Taiwan. This development, which could lead to a conventional missile arms race in the region, was confirmed by General Charles Flynn, commander of US Army Forces Pacific, at the Halifax International Security Forum in Nova Scotia. According to Defense One, the deployment, set for 2024, includes Tomahawk and SM-6 missiles, and is enabled by the US's exit from the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces (INF) Treaty in 2019. "We have tested them, and we have a battery or two of them today," Defense One quoted Flynn saying at the event. "In 2024, we intend to deploy that system in your region. I'm not going to say where and when, but I will just say that we will deploy them." General Flynn highlighted the rapid growth of China's military capabilities, posing threats to regional and global stability. He outlined various factors influencing Chinese leader Xi Jinping's strategic decisions, including economic sanctions, efforts to undermine US alliances in Asia, the readiness of China's military, and the effectiveness of its information and influence operations. This strategic shift in the Pacific reflects the US's growing concerns over China's military expansion and assertive actions in the region. It's part of a broader geopolitical strategy aimed at maintaining stability and preventing conflicts in the Indo-Pacific, an Asia Times report said. The US's missile projects in the Pacific are geared towards creating a missile wall across the first island chain, which includes Japan, Taiwan, and the Philippines, to deter China. Recent developments include the US Marine Corps' unveiling of the Long-Range Fires Launcher and the acquisition of the Typhoon land-based missile launcher by the US Army. These systems are designed to enhance mobility and fill gaps in the US's long-range missile capabilities. However, the willingness of US allies in the region to participate in this missile wall strategy remains uncertain. Countries like Thailand, the Philippines, South Korea, Australia, and Japan have various reasons for potential reluctance, ranging from political ties with China to geographical and policy constraints. The Asia Times report said, "Japan emerges as the most viable partner for hosting US missiles, given its ongoing shift in defense policy and efforts to build long-range counterstrike capabilities. Despite challenges in developing its indigenous missile arsenal, Japan may rely on US-supplied missiles in the interim." Concurrently, China is expanding its conventional missile arsenal, transforming its missile forces into a diverse array of ground-launched, ballistic and cruise missiles. This includes intermediate and medium-range ballistic missiles capable of striking key US military bases and ships, reflecting China's strategy of deterrence and warfighting, with a focus on precision strikes and anti-access/area denial capabilities. This is not just about today's chessboard, it's about tomorrow's. And the US is making its moves with an eye on the future, preparing for the challenges and opportunities that the Pacific might bring. The US is not just planning, but preparing for a Pacific future. But what is the power behind these missiles that the US plans to deploy? Let's delve into the capabilities of these mighty machines. The United States has a wide array of missiles in its arsenal, but the ones planned for deployment in the Pacific are particularly potent. First, let's talk about range. The missiles that the US intends to deploy are long-range, capable of reaching targets thousands of miles away. This allows the US to keep its assets at a safe distance while still posing a credible threat to potential adversaries. It's a bit like having a long arm that can reach across the vastness of the Pacific. Next is the payload. These missiles are designed to carry substantial warheads, powerful enough to cripple enemy infrastructure and neutralize military threats. The exact specifications are classified, but rest assured, they pack quite a punch. Perhaps one of the most crucial aspects is their potential targets. These missiles are versatile, capable of striking a variety of targets, from enemy bases to naval vessels. This flexibility allows the US to respond dynamically to evolving threats, keeping potential adversaries guessing. Now let's touch on the fact that these missiles are land-based. This offers certain advantages over sea or air-based platforms. Land-based missiles are harder to detect and destroy, providing a sort of home advantage. They can be nestled away in remote, well-defended locations, ready to be called into action at a moment's notice. Moreover, land-based missiles require less maintenance and logistical support compared to their sea or air-based counterparts. This makes them a cost-effective and reliable part of the US's strategic arsenal. In essence, these missiles are a formidable tool in the US's toolbox, ready to be wielded when necessary to maintain peace and stability. They're not just weapons, they're deterrents, designed to make potential adversaries think twice before making any aggressive moves. These missiles represent the US's commitment to maintaining a balance of power in the Pacific. And rest assured, they stand ready to fulfill that commitment. What does this mean for the future of the Pacific? As we gaze into the crystal ball of geopolitics, one thing is clear. The Pacific is set to remain a focal point of global tensions. The United States' decision to deploy long-range land-based missiles in the Pacific is a significant move. It's a strategic countermeasure against China's expanding military ambitions, and its refusal to rule out the use of force in capturing Taiwan. But this move is not just about Taiwan. It's a statement, a show of force that echoes across the Pacific, and indeed the world. It's a signal to other nations, allies and adversaries alike, that the United States is committed to maintaining the balance of power in the region. So, how might China respond? It's hard to say for certain, but we can expect an array of reactions, from diplomatic protests to military posturing, and perhaps even an acceleration of their own missile development programs. And what about the other countries in the Pacific? How will they react to this new dynamic? It's likely that the increased US military presence will stir a mixed bag of emotions, from relief to anxiety. Allies such as Japan, South Korea, and Australia might welcome the move as an additional deterrent against Chinese aggression. However, it could also raise concerns about escalating tensions and the potential for conflict in their backyard. The deployment of these missiles could indeed heighten tensions in the short term. But it also has the potential to serve as a powerful deterrent against aggression, contributing to the maintenance of a delicate balance of power. It's a classic case of the age-old military strategy, peace through strength. In the high-stakes game of Pacific geopolitics, the next move is always the most critical. The board is set, the pieces are moving. We're all waiting to see what happens next in this intricate dance of power and strategy.